to this video. We're gonna drain the fluid out of our transmission. This is the F-150 89 with 4x4 5-speed. The transmission in it is M5 R2 Mazda, and so I've been running ATF, and it's very obvious that these are made for a manual transmission, Synchromesh. And the only thing is, I want to share with you guys if this thing works like smooth as they talk about or not. Now, it's really impossible to kind of prove it through the video, but I'm just gonna share the experience and what I feel like. Now, when the manufacturer put ATF in a manual transmission, that have a transfer case. So this is the transmission tail is removed, and this is, I'm going to rebuild this, but this is the tail shaft. I got it all protected from the dirt as it being on the ground. Anyway, through these seals, you'll have fluid leaking back and forth to the transfer case. I don't have the transfer case here, but as you can see, that little seal there will leak ATF in the transfer case and back in the transmission. So that really explains why. As you can see on the, if you check the Toyota Gen 2 from 90 to 95, or maybe 89, 95, you'll find that the manual transmission 4x4 came with a gear oil in the transfer case and gear oil in the transmission. The automatic version came with ATF in the transmission, ATF in the transfer case. So this may explain why. So if you ever go with a Synchromesh, you gotta just keep an eye on the whatever you have in the transfer case. After a couple years, just check it, you know, see if there is a bad seal, because I don't know, nobody knows, or I don't know if you gotta look it up, what happened to the ATF when it gets mixed with the Synchromesh, which is equivalent to 10 weight 30 oil, obviously. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen the fill plug and the drain plug, and put my 4 quarts. It depends on what your transmission takes. Obviously I got a little leak. Pretty sure it's leaking from the very top. I think I overfilled it, so be careful. Always fill it from the fill plug. So some transmissions you can fill from the top, so you gotta watch what you got there, because you can see it's a little wet all the way across. Anyway, so let's go ahead and take it for a ride and see what it does. It looks exactly like a regular engine oil. When I saw it first, I was like, it looks exactly like the 1030 that everybody talks about in the forums, like, you know, you can use that, and that a lot of people say it works pretty good. Anyway, this stuff does look like that, and the thickness of it, it does really feels like it's 10 weight 30, but it smells, it have a really distinctive smell, and it smells exactly like a very light gearbox oil smell. And the gearbox oil smell is really horrible, but this is a lot like lighter. It did have that kind of smell. Help yourself with something like that. I never found it really useful cutting the tip of that bottle and trying to just force it in transmission. I'll be dripping half of it out. So get yourself a pump like that. It does really make the job 10 times easier, and you can keep that in your toolbox for years and years and years. First gear, second gear. Swerve it on the road using the phone, not a good idea. It's definitely a lot better. Third gear, second gear back in business, went in pretty easy. All right. Third gear, pretty easy. Now, my transmission, I swear, it never used to be this good. It's much better now, smoother, and much smoother. Fourth gear, much better. I mean, there is definitely a really big difference. The way it's performing now from before, it's definitely nice. All right, I'm gonna head in a minute to the highway. Actually, I drop it down to the third gear. Third gear, pretty easy. Dropping the gears is not just going into gears. Sometimes it can be a little harder. Fourth gear, nice. Hitting the highway now. Fifth gear, pretty easier. It's getting a lot easier. Can't complain about that.